Every CIA officer is trained for capture. The module is called SEREC. It lasts 3 weeks. Fort Bragg Isolated Facility, instructors who have been there, really been there, and who teach you stress positions and coercive interrogation, and the specific pattern of sleep deprivation that a hostile service will use in the first 72 hours. At the end of the 3 weeks, you receive a certificate. You do not frame it, you file it in a safe with your contingency packet. The certificate does not say what the training does not cover. The training covers capture. The training covers captivity. The training does not cover release. That is the part you will find out yourself. Level 5, the officer they will not name. You are 46. You have spent 22 years inside the Directorate of Operations, which used to be called the Clandestine Service, and you have recruited agents in 4 countries whose names are not on any list you can show your wife. Your cover is diplomatic. Your salary is $162,000. Your actual job is the maintenance of a network. 11 human beings whose lives are held in place by the structure of your tradecraft. You meet them in cafes and car parks in the back rooms of bookshops. You pay them in cash and in promises. 2 of them have families. 1 of them has a child whose university is quietly funded by a scholarship that does not exist. You are running a live operation against a counterintelligence service that is very good at what it does. You know they are good because for 18 months your numbers have been clean. That should have been the signal. Clean numbers for 18 months against that service means one of 2 things. Either you are better than everyone in your class, or you're already compromised and they are building the case. It was the second thing. You find this out on a Tuesday. You are at a day drop that you have used 4 times before. You are servicing it in the standard way, at the standard hour, with the standard counter surveillance loop you have run in this city for 3 years. The loop shows you nothing because a surveillance team that costs more than your entire field budget has been choreographed around your movements for a month. You lift the package. The package is not yours. The package is a receipt. You stand in a stairwell for 6 seconds reading it. Then the door behind you opens. Level 4, the mistake nobody at Langley will admit. You are in a holding cell at the central detention facility of a service whose acronym does not appear in your operational reports because your operational reports do not survive this moment. Your cover is useless. Diplomatic immunity will be asserted by the embassy and denied by the host country, and there will be a 41-day interval during which the 2 governments perform a kind of diplomatic theater that is well understood by everyone except the person at the center of it, which in this case is you. During those 41 days, you will be asked questions for approximately 11 hours a day. You will answer none of them correctly. The SEREC training told you this is possible. The training did not tell you what 11 hours a day for 41 days does to your sense of what the word correctly means. You lose 17 pounds. You lose the feeling in 2 fingers of your left hand from the way they position the chair. You do not lose the names of the 11 people. You hold the names. You hold them because you signed an oath, and because each name has a face, and because one of the faces has a child whose university is quietly funded by a scholarship that does not exist. You think about that scholarship a lot. You think about it more than you think about your wife, which is a thing you do not tell the psychiatrist later, because there is no version of that sentence that does not sound like an indictment. You hold the names. 2 of the 11 are arrested anyway because the service already had them, because the service was ahead of you by 14 months. You find this out from your interrogator. He tells you because he wants you to understand that whatever you are protecting is already gone. It is a technique. It works on lesser officers. It does not work on you because you are 46 and you signed an oath. It does, however, break something in you that does not have a name in the literature. Level 3, the black site. You are not in the holding cell anymore. You are in a facility that your own government does not officially acknowledge exists, and your host government officially insists is a regional detention center for narcotics offenses. It is neither. It is a place where the service keeps people it has not decided what to do with. You are there for 7 months. The walls are concrete. The floor is concrete. There is a drain in the center of the floor, which you stop thinking about by the 4th month. The light is overhead, fluorescent, and operates on a schedule that you gradually come to understand is not circadian. Some days are 28 hours, some days are 19. They do this to unmoor you. By month 3, it has worked. You know the date because you count meals. Then they change the meal schedule and you lose the date. You do not get it back. You are not tortured in the sense that the general public understands torture. You are held. Held is a word that looks neutral until you have experienced 7 months of it. The interrogations continue, the questions change. They are no longer about the network, and the network has been rolled up. The officers you trained are either dead or turned or running, and the operation that your promotion packet said would define your career is now a paragraph in an internal Langley report that will be declassified in 50 years and read by graduate students writing dissertations. The questions now are about doctrine, about how the directorate trains its officers, about which compartments touch which compartments. These questions you also do not answer, but the effort of not answering them over 7 months in a room where time does not behave correctly begins to feel like a very elaborate form of losing. On a Thursday in October, you know it is Thursday because your interrogator mentions it in the way that someone mentions the weather. You are moved. You do not know you are being moved until you are in a vehicle. The vehicle drives for 9 hours. You are then in a different facility, which is cleaner, and in which a different person speaks to you in English, and in which the word exchange is used for the first time. You do not react to the word. Reaction is a tell, but the word enters you and begins to do something to the architecture you have built over 7 months to make the present moment survivable. The architecture was built on the assumption that there would be no exchange. The architecture assumed that you were a paragraph in a classified report. A paragraph does not get exchanged. A paragraph stays in the report. Level 2. The trade.
Explain this entry.
It is 3:14 in the morning at an airstrip you do not recognize. It is cold. The cold is the first thing you have felt in your body in months that your body has responded to correctly. Your hands are in front of you, uncuffed. You are wearing the clothes they gave you, which are wrong. The jacket is a size too large. The trousers are a size too small. Someone made a mistake at requisition, and the mistake has become the outfit in which you return to your country. Across the tarmac there is a second group of figures. You count them. You cannot help counting. There are 4. 3 of them are in custody. 1 is not. The one who is not is the officer of the other service, who will walk across this tarmac in exchange for the 3 walking back. You understand, standing there, that the exchange is asymmetrical in a way that would be humiliating if you still had the capacity to be humiliated. 3 of theirs for 1 of yours. You do not know who decided you were worth 3. You do not know what the 3 did. You will not know until a book comes out in 12 years, by a journalist who will interview you once and misquote you twice, and by then it will not matter. The walk across the tarmac is 140 feet. You count it. You count it because counting is the thing you did in the cell to remain a person who counts. You do not look at the officer walking in the other direction. He does not look at you. You pass each other at the midpoint. Neither of you acknowledges the other. This is protocol. This is also the last time for a very long time that you will be in the presence of someone who understands precisely what just happened to you. He will go home to a debrief and a dacha and a medal. You will go home to an apartment the agency has leased in your name for 6 months, furnished by a contractor in a suburb you did not choose. Level 1, the apartment they gave you. It is in Northern Virginia. It is on the 2nd floor of a 3-story building with beige siding and a parking lot that is well lit at night. The apartment has a couch, a bed, a kitchen table, 2 chairs, a coffee maker, and a television that receives 47 cable channels. The agency has stocked the refrigerator. There is milk, there is bread, there are 4 boxes of cereal, none of which are the brand you used to buy. There is a note on the counter that tells you your debrief is scheduled for the following Monday, 9 a.m., at a facility in McLean that you have been to many times. The note is signed by a name you do not recognize. You are here on a Wednesday. That means you have 5 days in this apartment before the debrief. You sit on the couch is new, it smells like the factory. You have not smelled a factory in a long time. You sit for 35 minutes without moving. Then you get up and walk to the window. The window looks out at the parking lot. You watch the parking lot for another 20 minutes. You are not looking for anything. You're looking because looking out a window is a thing a person does, and you are practicing being a person. Your wife is not in the apartment. Your wife is in a different apartment in a different city, because by the time you were captured, your wife had been told you were killed in a car accident in a friendly country during a routine consular visit, and a funeral had been held, and your wife had, at the instruction of an agency grief counselor, begun to rebuild her life. Your wife rebuilt it. She rebuilt it with someone else because 7 months is a long time to be a widow, and because your wife was 39, and because the agency did not tell her you were alive until 4 weeks before your return, at which point she had already made decisions that she was not going to unmake for a man the government had already buried. The agency provides a liaison to manage this. The liaison is a woman in her 50s who has done this 6 times. She is good at it. She tells you in a voice that is neither warm nor cold that your wife sends her regards. Regards. The word sits on the kitchen table for several days. Your children, you have 2, a daughter and a son, who were 11 and 9 when you left, are 14 and 12. They were told you died. They believed it for 7 months. Then they were told you didn't. They do not know what to do with this information. Neither do you. There is a meeting scheduled for 3 weeks from now at a hotel with a family therapist at which you will see them for the first time. You read the date on the card the liaison gave you. You put the card on the kitchen table next to the word regards. You do not know which you are more afraid of. On the fourth night, you go to the grocery store. You need nothing. You go because the apartment is too quiet and the parking lot is too empty, and you need to be in a room with other people who do not know who you are. The grocery store is well lit. The grocery store has music. The grocery store has a woman shouting at her child in aisle 4 about a brand of yogurt the child wants and the woman will not buy. You stand in the cereal aisle and you look at the boxes and you understand, with a clarity that does not feel like relief, that you have spent 22 years of your life inside a system whose existence depended on the fact that the woman in aisle 4 does not know it exists. You protected her yogurt argument. You protected it with 11 human beings, 2 of whom are now dead, 1 of whom is in a prison where they will die, and 8 of whom are running in places you will never be allowed to visit again. The woman in aisle 4 does not know. She will never know. She does not need to. This is the deal. The deal holds. The deal has always held. The problem is that you are not sure, standing in the cereal aisle, whether the deal still includes you. You do not buy anything. You walk back to the apartment. You sleep for the first time since the tarmac for 4 uninterrupted hours. When you wake, it is dark. You do not know what time it is because the apartment has no clock. The agency which thinks of everything did not think of a clock. On the following Monday, at the debrief, you are told 2 things. You are told that your clearance has been suspended pending investigation. This is standard. You are also told that you will not be returning to operations. This is also standard, and also, in the way these conversations are conducted, final. You are told in the language of the agency that the service values contribution. You are told that a position in the training directorate may be available in 6 to 9 months if medical clears you, which is a thing they say to buy time. You are told that your signing of an additional non-disclosure is required. You sign. You have always signed. In 50 years in a declassification review, a paragraph about you will become public. The paragraph will be 3 sentences long. It will contain your cryptonym, which you will not recognize because it was assigned after the debrief, and a 1-line summary of the operation, and the word compromised, and that is the word the agency will use. Not betrayed, not captured, it shall not exchanged for 3 officers whose names you were not told. Compromised, it is the shortest word available for what happened to you. The agency chose it because it performs a specific function. It converts a man into a paragraph. The officer spends 22 years being made, then the officer is made compact, then the officer is unmade. The system that required all 3 steps will continue to require all 3 steps. It is not personal. The officer sitting in the apartment in Northern Virginia looking out at a well-lit parking lot understands this. Understanding does not help. The CIA officer protected the lanes of a system most people do not know exists. The next person, the one in the next file, crewed the vessel that protects the same system from underneath. 90 days at a time, never surfacing, never allowed to speak of it. Different uniform, same deal.